Hey, Sorrow, I heard that you quit your job at the company and are now proudly unemployed.
Huh? What is it, Aunt? Hold on. Who said I was unemployed? I got permission from Mom and I work part-time to help out the two of us at home. Also, I don't use that much money myself anyway, so I'm pretty sure I'm not being a burden.
Calm down, Sorrow, I was just joking. You want to become a comic book writer in the future, which is why you quit your full-time job, right?
Yeah, what's so bad about it? You make fun of me wanting to be a comic book writer, but I even have an editor, you know?
Yeah, I'm not making fun of you, Sorrow, I'm just kidding. I, for one, support you chasing your dreams.
Are you sure about that?
You're so serious, Sorrow, and I know exactly what you need to fix that. I'll introduce you to a cool part-time job that you could use in your stories or something.
I have a bad feeling about this. What do you mean a cool part-time job? You're not going to make me do anything illegal, are you?
Don't worry, this is completely legal. You know that I work in the Human Resources Department at my company, right?
Oh yeah, it's a pretty big company as well, right?
Yeah, you see, there's going to be a huge recruitment at my company's subsidiary company next month. I want you to apply.
Huh? But I have no intention of becoming a full-time employee at a company, you know?
I'm not telling you to join e-corporations, I'm telling you to go undercover. I want you to go to that interview as a spy so you can inspect the hiring process.
Inspect the hiring process? Why?
You see, I've received 2 reports from e-corporations telling me that there was something suspicious about the hiring process. There's something suspicious going on with the interviewers, you see? I mean, you just quit your job recently, right? It's going to be really believable if someone like that goes undercover, don't you think? This is perfect timing for you to do this job.
Yeah, but I wonder if I'll be able to do it.
I mean, it's an interesting side job, right? Like I said, you could use it in your comics or something. Besides, you won't need to do anything fancy. Just apply for a job and tell me what goes on in their hiring process. Oh, just make sure that they don't find out you're an inspector, I guess.
Well, I guess that doesn't sound that difficult, and it does sound like an interesting job, to be honest.
Why don't you first listen to the job explanation before making a decision?
I don't know. It sounds like a lot of unnecessary hassle.
If you accept, you're going to make a lot of money easily, you know. I know it's a bit of a strange part-time job, but you really won't have to do that much.
All right, I'll listen to the explanation first. Hello, Mr. Paolo. This is Ivan, the person in charge of the recruitment interviews at E-Corporations. Good morning. Thank you for letting me know I passed the document screening yesterday. Yes, no problem. We're going to be contacting you and the others who passed the document screening mainly by text from now on. Is that all right for you? Yes, I understand. I look forward to working with you. Anyways, I heard that yours was a single-parent household, and that we were raised by your mother growing up. Is this true? Yes, my father passed away when I was in middle school, and I've been living with my mother ever since. Things were a bit rough after Dad passed away, but somehow my mom managed to pay for my tuition all the way until I graduated college. I see. All right, I understand.
Hi, Sorrow. The first selection round just finished, right? Thanks for your work.
Hello, Aunt Monica.
So, how was the interview process?
Right now it just feels like a regular selection process, but
Is the interviewer pressuring you or something?
no, he just asked the usual questions. It was all just very standard and professional.
Is there anything in particular that caught your attention?
Let me think.
It's all right if you feel like it's nothing. Just give me anything that comes to your mind.
Oh, yeah, I remember he seemed a bit too interested in my environment growing up as a child.
Your environment growing up as a child? What exactly do you mean by that?
One of the interviewers is a guy named Ivan, right? Do you know him?
Yes, he works at the Human Resources Department at E-Corporations.
He asked me whether I was raised only by my mother by text. And in the actual interview, he asked me again in between two more standard questions. Well, it's true that I do live with my mother, just the two of us, but I don't really understand why he had asked me the same thing over and over. He's probably just concerned whether I would have taken care of her on my own if anything happened to her. That's what I thought during the interview, at least.
Interesting. This might have something to do with the reports I was already given. Did he ask this to the other applicants?
Oh, yeah. He asked similar questions like, do you live on your own? Or are your parents currently healthy? That's why I thought he was only asking me all those questions to find out whether I would suddenly have to take leave just because of a family emergency or something.
I see. So he's more clever than I thought. Just to be clear, Ivan was the one who asked all of these questions.
Yep. All the other interviewers just asked standard interview questions, and Ivan would ask these other questions on top of that. What do you mean by Ivan's more clever than I thought, though? Do you suspect him of plotting something?
Yes, although we don't have any actual proof yet. He's made sure to cover his tracks and make it seem like he's been asking completely reasonable questions during the interview. I suspect that he only asked the other applicants stuff like, do you live on your own, or are your parents currently healthy, to mask his questions about you being raised by your mother. You need to keep going. He's going to slip up at one point or another.
So does that mean I should just contact me and tell me what to do before then, all right?
Got it. I will. Hi, Sorrow. Congratulations on completing the final interview.
Oh, hi, Aunt. Yeah, thanks. You say that like I'm actually applying for a job here.
Yeah, that was the joke. I'll get straight to the point, though. How was it?
Yep, that Ivan guy is suspicious. Just like you told me, he said something that made me think that he was very concerned that I was raised by a single mother. It was something like, are you sure you want to join our company? Because it may be a bit difficult for you to take a leave if your mother falls ill or something. I don't know why he had to tell me specifically that, though. I mean, don't all, well, I guess most of, the other employees have parents as well? I'll just give you the details later via an IC audio recording.
Okay, was there anything else?
Well, to be honest, I myself wondered if I was just imagining things or not, but do you want to hear it?
Of course, tell me. I hired you to tell me everything you noticed during the hiring process, remember?
It's about Ivan again. But there was an opportunity for all the people who passed the preliminary interview and all the interviews to gather and talk to each other. There was this one woman. Whenever Ivan would ask her a question, she would answer with the normal response. But I got the feeling that she was anxious the whole time. I mean, all the other applicants were anxious as well, but she seemed to be on the verge of panicking or something. It looked like she was avoiding his eyes when she was talking to him as well.
I'm guessing you don't happen to know why she was acting like that?
This is all just my personal opinion, and depending on how you look at it or how I tell it to you, it could come across as being very offensive. And I don't even know if it's related, but...
Just tell it to me, Sorrow. Do you remember her name?
I think her name was Anna. Why? Do you think Ivan is targeting beautiful women or something?
Yes. Well, women he finds attractive, to be more precise.
Just to be clear, I have no idea if this has anything to do with the hiring process, all right?
Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how small you think it is, just tell it to me, because who knows if it could be important. There's always a chance that this whole situation will get solved by an unlikely clue. And just between you and me, I'm pretty sure that this is related to our case. You see, the two tips I got from insiders in E Corporation were also women that could be considered beautiful.
I get it. Well, I guess we really do have to investigate every clue, no matter how unlikely, since we don't even have any proof yet.
No need to be impatient, Sorrow. There's also a high possibility that something will happen before they tell you you're hired. So don't let your guard down until I say it's over, okay?
What? Could it be that I'm going to be accepted?
Well, yes.
Wow. So, does this mean that...
Don't worry. We made it so that you being there wouldn't affect the final result. So you didn't make anyone fail the interview or anything, if that's what you're worried about.
Oh, I see. It's fine if that's the case, though.
All right. We've just got a little more to go, so keep working hard. I feel like we're just about to catch him.
All right, got it. Hello, Mr. Paolo. This is Ivan from E Corporations. Can you talk right now? Oh, hello. Thanks for your work with the interviews. Is there something you wanted to tell me? Well, you see, I told you that you were hired yesterday, right? Yes, thank you for choosing me to join the company. Yes, about that. I'm sorry, but I changed my mind and we're not going to be hiring you after all. Why exactly is that? Don't take this the wrong way. I am truly sorry I have to do this, but it's a rule of our company that we can't hire people who were raised by a single mother. Which is why I'm going to have to revoke your job offer. What? You're not going to hire me because I was raised by a single mother? Yes, I had already confirmed that you were raised by a single mother growing up, but due to some mistakes by the other interviewers, you were accidentally given a pass. I was so close. We were almost fooled because he looked like a regular person on the outside, but in reality, he was raised by a single mother and thus is trash. Is what the other interviewer said. You see, he even went as far as ripping apart your resume. I'm sorry, but this just means that we just don't need someone like you in our company. I see. I hope you have better luck finding a job in the future. Well, goodbye. I'm sorry we raised your hopes only to tell you the truth. It's true that I was raised by a single mother, but... Don't you think it's a bit strange not accepting someone just because of that? That's called a prejudice, you know. Thinking that someone didn't have a good upbringing just because they were raised by a single parent. Are you sure it's all right for someone in your position in charge of the company's human resources? Mr. Paolo, why you... This is what I'm talking about. We're not a charity, you know. You're just a piece of trash whose place is to get judged by others, not judge them yourself. You can't just tell me your opinions like you matter, you know. All right. Then I have a question for you then. Does it mean that it is a requirement for E-corporations that any potential applicant must have been raised by both parents? You mentioned that it was a rule of the company, right? Well, put it simply, yes. I understand. But that's crazy, don't you think? I've never heard of a company that had a rule not allowing people raised by single parents until now. What's crazy about it? It's actually a very common practice, Mr. Paolo. In this day and age, people talk of diversity and equality, and companies have to pretend they support it or else they'll lose customers. But in reality, they couldn't care less and would rather not have to work with such people if possible. Wow, such people, huh? But the woman named Anna I was interviewed with said she was raised by a single mother herself as well. Yet I heard that she just got the job offer. I also heard that the other women who were in a different group as me and who were also raised by single mothers got job offers as well. What? Even if we look at the two past recruitments, this imbalance was pointed out to have been too extreme to be an accident. Would you like to explain what the meaning of this is? How do you know all those details? I don't know. Why don't you make a guess? What? Oh, I get it. I see what you're trying to tell me now. All right, fine. Let's make a deal. A deal? You can pretend I never contacted you about your job offer being canceled. And I'll even make sure you get an above average salary once you join the company. In return, I want you to pretend like you don't know anything about me using Anna's weaknesses to make her do as I say. You know what? I'll even make it better for you. If you keep quiet, I'll let you in on my plan and we can use Anna for our pleasure together. I see. Thank you for the proof that you were doing something illegitimate. Huh? Hold on, Mr. Paolo. I can assure you that making a deal with me here is going to benefit you much, much more than if you hand this information over to whoever you're working for. Please, think about this more carefully. Yeah, no thanks. I'm just doing this as a part-time job, you know? I never actually intended on joining this company, or any other company for that matter. Anyways, I especially appreciate that you told me all of this by text, where it won't disappear. What? Shit. Well, I had to try, you know? Congratulations, you caught me. But could you please tell me one thing before you leave? How did you know? Was it a trap? Well, it's not really that it's a trap. You were already being suspicious of being an unfair interviewer. What? But I made sure that I didn't leave any evidence. Who the hell are you even? You see, I received a request from your parent company to investigate this company's hiring process. I was an undercover inspector. What? You were an inspector from the parent company all this time? But I didn't receive any information about this. I don't see how you could have, because currently only 2 people know what I'm doing here. Well, I guess 3 now that you know as well. You see, before the final interview, I noticed that Anna was acting a bit strange. And so I told the person who hired me to this job about it. They did a bit of investigation themselves, and I got the chance to ask Anna about it herself, which is how we found out about your perverted practices. What did you say? What part of what I'm doing is perverted? All I'm doing is preventing people like you from joining our company. If anything, I should be given a raise for my efforts. First of all, you look down on people who were raised by a single parent, automatically considering them as being in poverty and of being no use to the company. Ivan, based on this ideology of yours, you failed every man like me that was raised by a single parent without exception. Women that were raised by a single mother, on the other hand, you hinted to the ones you found attractive and easy to manipulate that they might be hired, and everyone else you still failed. The ones you did let into this company, however, you used to satisfy your own pleasures, using their weaknesses to make them do whatever you say. You know even that? Your mistake was that you got too greedy after succeeding twice already, and attempting to do it a 3rd time. It looks like you were quite the devil in disguise, Ivan. How do you feel now? By the way, the person from the parent company who hired me has been sitting next to me and reading these texts the whole time. What? Please understand that there's no use trying to make excuses anymore. This can't be happening. To think that I was caught. Is this the end of everything for me? Is my life going to end now? Well, goodbye then. Damn it. After that, a bit more investigation was done on the case. It seems that Ivan wasn't the only interviewer that was using their position as an interviewer to get what they wanted. It was such a scandal that it was decided that everyone in the upper ranks of E-corporations would be fired and replaced. With Ivan, on the other hand, it seems that him abusing his power as an interviewer wasn't the only rule he broke. It was found out that he was also guilty of countless other offenses, and in the end, he ended up having to pay multiple alimonies and damage compensations to multiple people in multiple areas. But in the end, it was decided that he had malicious intent when he did all these things. So he was ultimately just fired as well. Since he couldn't rely on a severance package, he was forced to make money in any way that he could think of. And it seems he became extremely busy day in and day out. He still had to take a huge loan, and now he has to work all day while being in extreme poverty. It seems that every day is extremely painful for him.
Maggie, are you there? Do you have time to talk? Oh, good evening, Mom. What's this about? I hear you're pregnant. Is it true?
Excuse me?
So, which is it? A boy or a girl? I'm 100% it's a boy. I'm sure of it.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not pregnant. Where do you even hear that?
Pardon me? Well, that can't be right. Do you think I would make such a thing up? I saw you the other day. You definitely had morning sickness. Don't you forget, I'm a mother too, you know.
Sorry? Morning sickness?
Yes, the other day when you came over to our house. Come on, stop evading the issue, Maggie. Boy or a girl? Easy question.
Like I said, Mother, I'm not pregnant.
Oh, don't give me that. Why are you keeping it a secret? Everyone will find out sooner or later.
This morning sickness you're talking about, that was probably when I got back from that long trip. I sort of got car sick after that long ride back.
Car sick? In this day and age?
Oh, the ride quality's good, but you know we bought that new car. That new car smell kind of made me a bit nauseous. I was also never really comfortable riding in a car for long periods of time. And you know I don't have a driver's license, and Mark always drives me to your place. And you know, riding in the passenger seat always makes me a little dizzy.
You're really trying hard to hide this, aren't you? Whatever for? And if you get car sick, there are pills for that. So, boy or a girl? No more pussyfooting around. And don't you dare tell me it's a girl. We need a boy in this family.
What am I supposed to say? I said I'm not pregnant. How else am I supposed to put it? Should I lie? And as for taking car sickness pills, there are reasons I can't take such medicine.
I see where you're going with this. I know why you're being so stubborn. It's a girl, right? Oh, I knew it.
Pardon me?
Yes, I knew it. That's why you've been hiding it. Your family, all girls, right? Ever since Mark married you, I knew it would turn out this way. All your siblings are girls. Mark should have known. You know we run a business and someday we're going to need someone to take over. And you had to go and get pregnant with a girl. I was never in favor of Mark marrying you, but he's my son and in the end it's his decision. But to be honest, I really should have pushed him harder.
Mother, are you okay?
So, I guess that means divorce.
Divorce? You're getting a bit ahead of yourself, aren't you?
Well, if you insist on having this child, this girl, well, that's what will happen. You'll just have to bring up that child on your own.
Please, Mother, stop with this nonsense. I told you I'm not pregnant.
Hey, Mom, can we talk?
Oh, hi, Mark. Good timing. You have to hear this. You won't believe what Maggie just said. She was trying so hard to hide the fact that she's pregnant with a little girl. Unbelievable. She wouldn't even admit that she was pregnant. Why hide it? We'll all find out sooner or later, right, Mark? I bet she was planning on keeping it a secret and then just having the baby without even telling us about it. You have to divorce this woman, Mark. It's for your own good.
Mom, what's wrong with you? Where did you even get the idea that she was pregnant?
I know it for a fact. Let's put that aside for now. Mark, you remember that very nice girl you used to date back in college? What was her name? Julianne, or something? What do you think about her as your next wife? She would be perfect, the type to give a nice, healthy boy. She has 4 siblings and all boys. I'm sure she'll give birth to a beautiful baby boy.
Yeah, Julianne. She got married right out of college.
Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad.
Mom? When you were texting Maggie, I was standing right next to her, observing the whole exchange.
Oh, you don't say! Well, that means Maggie's little fib about her not being pregnant is all out in the open now. Now you know, Mark. So, when are you going to process the divorce papers? That means you'll have to go down to City Hall and get the necessary forms and talk to your lawyer about how to proceed next.
I'm telling you, Mom, Maggie is not pregnant. She's not lying about that.
Pardon me?
We have plans and decided to put off having kids for a while. And about her getting car sick, that's all true too.
So, why was she suddenly feeling sick? I can't believe she gets that unwell just by sitting in a car.
Well, it's not only the car, I suppose. It's hay fever season too, so this time of year she's not really in the best of condition. So she takes various hay fever medicine.
Hay fever.
So she can't mix car sickness pills with what she's already taking. Which also brings us to the subject about her being pregnant. You obviously know that she can't take medicine while she's pregnant, right?
Yes, well, that's common sense, I suppose.
So we figured we'd start thinking about kids after the hay fever season. You know, when she's not taking any medicine. Actually, we talked about this earlier.
Okay, I see. That's what's going on, huh? Well, in that case, let's just forget the whole thing. You know what I said and all.
Excuse me, that's it? After what you said, just forget it?
Well, it's all Maggie's fault. She made it seem like she was pregnant, and her attitude. It was like she was hiding something. So, I thought, would you please talk to her and have her explain this whole mess to me? She's always so unclear about things. I just don't know what she's thinking.
Oh boy! You never seem to learn, Mom. You carry on like this and you're gonna get into real trouble one of these days.
Oh, what are you talking about?
You really think I don't know anything about what you did to Maggie all these years?
Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you call her and get her to come over and do all the cleaning and cooking. Then sometimes you'd come over to our place without any advance notice and sit around for hours. And this is all during business hours.
Oh, well, yes, and I was just...
Come on, Mom, our family runs a business. You're an employee too, so please, Mom, do some work instead of loafing off and bothering Maggie every day.
I was only... And it's not every day. Anyway, I work.
Oh yeah? Now that it's all remote work. No one's around, so you just let Maggie do all the work. I heard you came over to our place with your laptop and had Maggie do all the company's spreadsheets. Is that true?
Well, you know, she's a housewife. She's got nothing else to do.
Maggie doesn't work at a company, but she works from home, like you, Mom. Now she has twice the work. As a matter of fact, what you did was release confidential company information by letting Maggie do the work. You do realize that, don't you?
Excuse me? What do you mean?
Luckily for you, she didn't touch your laptop because she knew it was confidential. And as a non-employee, she had no right to look at it. But you went ahead and berated her for not doing the work for you.
But it wasn't very difficult work. You know, calculations and all easy stuff.
It's not about whether it's easy or difficult. This is confidential corporate information. Dad's the CEO of this company. You're an employee of that company. What the hell are you doing allowing a non-employee to look at confidential files?
Oh, but I was only...
Don't give me that, but I was only crap, Mom. You know what? I can no longer let Maggie anywhere near you. And considering Dad's company, I just can't let the situation remain the way it is. What's more, I'm concerned for Maggie. I mean, think about it. What if she did give birth to a daughter? I don't know what the hell you would do. So we plan to move away.
Excuse me? What about work?
A friend from my college days started a company, and he asked me to join him. So I intend to quit Dad's company and go there.
What? Are you serious? You can't do that! You're slated to take over Dad's business after he retires. You can't just abandon that.
That hasn't been decided yet.
Oh, but you can't!
Sorry, but I've already made up my mind. We've already decided.
Hello, Maggie. It's been a long time.
Mom? Is it really you?
Oh, great, you haven't blocked me. Good for you. Okay, let's get down to business.
The reason I didn't block you is because I wanted to keep the line open. We weren't sure what you'd do next. With that said, I have no intention continuing this conversation. Goodbye.
Are you sure about that? Even if I told you I found out where you and Mark moved to? That I have your address?
Pardon me?
A friend of mine was on vacation and she happened to spot you. She said you were pregnant. She followed you and found out exactly where you live. She sent me the address just the other day.
You can't be serious. You had me followed?
I really had a difficult time after you guys moved away. Did you know that we got divorced? He insisted he could no longer live with me after what you and Mark told him. Needless to say, I was fired from the company. I had no other choice but to move in with my brother's family. But as you can imagine, it's not very comfortable. I mean, emotionally.
Is that so? But all that has nothing to do with me.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Maggie. You have everything to do with my predicament. I understand that the baby will be a boy. He'll come into this world next month, isn't that right?
Are you serious? Where did you hear that?
I told you my friend followed you. She also heard you talking to your friends at the supermarket. Oh, you never know who's listening. She heard you say that it's a boy and that you were expecting next month.
So this friend of yours, she was eavesdropping?
Well, yes, I suppose she was. But anyway, I'll do you a favor. I'm willing to live with you until the child is born, and maybe after that too. You know, you'll need all the help you can get.
No way. That's never going to happen.
Okay, just until the baby is born then. I'll leave after he's born. What do you say? But I'll take the baby with me. I demand you hand over my grandson after he's born.
Were you institutionalized the past 3 years? That's complete crazy talk.
Maggie, you don't seem to understand. Do you realize how difficult it's been the last 3 years? You guys simply disappearing, the divorce. If I appear in front of my husband with our grandson, I'm sure he will be overjoyed. He'll accept me back, I'm sure of it. So, he's my grandson. I'm taking him. If you have any compassion for what I went through all these years, you would hand over the child without question. It is your duty to obey your mother-in-law.
What are you talking about? Obey my mother-in-law? Are you out of your mind? We cut ties with you 3 years ago. We can't consider you our family. So why would we hand over our child to a stranger?
Excuse me, a stranger?
Hello, Mother. After 3 long years, you haven't changed a bit, I see.
Oh my God, is that you, Mark? Oh, I didn't expect to get a line from you.
I was watching the back and forth you were having a second ago.
How about work?
I work from home now. I have a little office set up. About you finding out where we live, this apartment complex is pretty secure. You won't get past the front entrance. There are several security personnel around too. They'll just turn you back, so I wouldn't even try.
Well, I'll just tell them I'm your mother. They'll let me in, no problem.
Actually, I told the landlord all about you. Security will be on the lookout for you. I even gave him a picture of you. As a matter of fact, after that text message earlier, I called security and reminded them to be on the lookout for you. and under no circumstances to let you in.
What? You're not serious? I'm your mother, for God's sake!
I told him if he gave them trouble to just call the police.
Pardon, the police? How could you do that to your own mother?
After how you treated your own son's wife? I can't believe what I'm hearing!
Oh, forget all that. Just hand over my grandson. I'll be over next month to pick him up. That child is going to be the next president of your father's company, and he's my ticket to getting back with your father.
It just hit me. I didn't realize you didn't know. The company, our cousin Rachel, was named the CEO a year ago. I'm surprised you didn't know.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I think it was April of last year.
You mean Rachel? She ran the sales department when I was there. That Rachel?
I guess she was your niece too, right?
Rachel? Oh, you're kidding me, right? She's the new CEO?
Yeah, and she's super smart. I knew she would succeed. But to be honest, I didn't expect her to become CEO. She had Dad's trust ever since she joined the company. She worked her butt off all those years. She deserved it. She's way smarter than me. So I didn't have any qualms about quitting when I did.
Oh, but Rachel? She's a woman. And she's the CEO? Oh, that cannot be right.
In this day and age, it's not that unusual for a woman to be a CEO. I mean, you work there too. I can't believe you're still so old-fashioned.
But how could... I mean, she's...
So that's what's up. Suggest you abandon any notion of this ludicrous scheme of yours.
It is not a ludicrous scheme, as you put it. If I take my grandson to your father's place, I can convince him to... I could even act as a go-between for you and your father. If I do that, well, I could get back with your father.
Why would I want you to act as go-between between me and Dad? We get along just fine. Maggie and I cut ties with you and you alone. Dad has nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, we had dinner at his place the other night.
Excuse me?
You know what, Mom? I'm pretty busy now. Could we call it a day?
No, wait. Let's talk about this.
No, Mom, there's nothing more to talk about. See you around. Please don't contact us again.
Well, it seems the only person obsessed with having a grandson was my mother-in-law. I think it was her obsession that caused her to lose sight of what was most important, which was her family. But she never learned and still continues with her obsession, feeling not a modicum of remorse for her outrageous behavior. After that line message, she apparently made her way to the apartment complex and hung around for a while. No, she was not able to get in, luckily. I think the security finally called the police and she sulked away after that. Having nowhere to turn, she ended up trying to get back together with my father-in-law. But he wouldn't have any of it. Apparently, my father-in-law had already met a nice widower while walking his dog and is currently dating her. I hear they may even get married. When my mother-in-law heard that, she went a little nuts, screaming and having a total meltdown. The cops eventually came and took her away. I heard even her brother has even cut ties with her. I don't know what happened to her after that.